Fun fact, every time a show's main couple is the least interesting one, a little part of my soul dies. And since this situation is an epidemic, it's no surprise that I'm mostly dead inside. It's truly shocking how many couples can waste years of our lives building up to mid, while everyone else in the story is usually couple goals. Yet, when the show starts with a couple already together, then we basically have just a whole new set of problems, as telling the story of how a couple got together is easy, as it's either fun or terrible, no in between, but at least you'll feel something, till it goes on too long. When a couple is pre-established though, now the trick is making the audience care about them and their relationship, but without the horse race. This isn't the hardest job in the world, however, when they aren't the focus of the story, then we have to start making the limited amount of time we have with them hit. Else they might as well just be friends. Speaking of which, Charlie and Vaggie from Has Been Hotel. They are not that bad. Out of some of the dog shit couples I've had to review for my channel, Shaggy isn't anywhere close to my worst 20, but they're also not great either. Shaggy, unfortunately, whelmed me. I don't know how else to put it. Out of 8 episodes, 2 where their relationship is a major focus, it took them singing in the finale for me to go, okay, this is cute as fuck. And after going through the series a couple times, I think I finally cracked the code for why this ship just wasn't hitting for me. It's a mix of writing mistakes, weird pacing, and failing to show why Charlie and Vaggie are their best selves around each other. This ship isn't bad, but it could have been better. So let's get into it.
It's pretty basic.
Yeah.
It's very, very basic.
Before we get into the problems, we gotta talk about the source. The episode count. This show has a measly 8 episodes, and it spent pretty much all of them rushing. The pacing for this show is fast as hell, and it's honestly a miracle that the show was able to accomplish what it does as well as it did. But this limited runtime means that one of the biggest sacrifices the season had to make was the character building episodes. We rarely get to see the cast goofing off in some misadventure designed to endear us to them, to show us who they are, how they bounce off each other, and to watch them grow closer. People can talk shit about filler/non-plot driven episodes, but those things do wonders to get us to care about any random batch of yahoos. So for a show like Has Been, where pretty much every episode is juggling its full cast, 2 songs, and 2 different plots, yeah, this bitch really doesn't have any time to give all of its characters a variety of interactions with the people around them. Which, that is the key. Variety. To see characters interact in different situations tell us a lot about who they are and how they feel about the others. It tells us about their priorities, how they think, what little intricacies make up who they are. It can be something as crazy as a fight or something annoying like running errands, but having those different interactions allow us to flesh out the characters and grow to love their dynamic. Variety is the spice of life and a golden opportunity to show off who these people are. And this is Shaggy's biggest issue. While they don't have the most amount of time to be together, when they are, there is a shocking lack of variety in how they interact.
What? No!
I didn't fully clock this till I started taking notes for this video, but of the roughly 36 times Charlie and Vaggie interact throughout the show, I used comforted or assured the other 21 times. Yeah, nearly 60% of the time they spend together is doing the exact same thing. Now, there's nothing wrong with a couple being supportive or loving. I am not that much of a drama whore. But in the context of a couple that the show is trying to sell us on, while not a bad thing on its own, the fact that it makes up so much of what we see of them is an issue, as the effects that makes Shaggy feel very one note. Their first scene together, of Charlie worrying about saving Hell in the aftermath of the exterminations, we get some light flirting from Vaggie, who then tells Charlie that she's not alone, assuring her that they'll be able to get through this. This is a solid introduction, but this is also beat for beat how they interact for most of the show. If comfort is your kink, go crazy with your cottagecore loving self. However, this being the default way we see them together plateaus interest. Even the context that, yeah, they're trying to avoid an extermination, they would be stressed out and need support. How they do it is still very samey as well. Vaggie's comforting Charlie about the angel dust fiasco. Charlie assures Vaggie that the meeting with heaven will go okay. Vaggie assures Charlie by holding her hand as she's calling her dad. Being supportive is good, but there's no variety in the ways that they try and comfort and support the other. No grand displays, no unique pep talks, no instances where they really push the envelope for how much they care outside the song in the finale. It's always some display of physical intimacy, holding hands, touching face, making things just a little bit better by just being together. But these moments are brief, far between, and what they do over half the time. So we are effectively watching a couple on autopilot. So while cute, they are struggling to be engaging. You understand that they care about each other, but it struggles to make you care about them. And move past the majority of how they spend their time together. Yes, their relationship isn't the focus of the series, till it is. Another way to endear us to a couple without wasting too much time or showing some big change is to show the two of them working together. To show us why they make such an effective pair, how they complement each other's strengths, shore up their weaknesses, and overall balance each other out. To prove why they are couple goals. Now this is something that Has Been also doesn't do the best job at. On paper, these two are peanut butter and jelly. They are the perfect complements to the other's personality. Charlie doesn't have a bad bone in her body. Vaggie is ready to break everybody else's. The dreamer and the realist. They're not dripping in overwhelming sweetness like the M&Ms from Hell of a Boss, but when it comes to them being adorable together, I don't question it. However, when we actually start talking about how they actually complement and influence each other in the show, then we have a much more difficult discussion. As yeah, Charlie is a massive positive influence on Vaggie. Vaggie is a secret fallen angel with trust issues. She's in a place she was raised to hate and is already predisposed to kill first, ask questions later. So her being ready to choose violence first makes sense, just like her not being the most trusting individual. This is where Charlie comes in, as she trusts everybody and pushes Vaggie to not stab her headaches in the face. Charlie makes Vaggie want to be better, to try and help others do the same. She often fails at it, but Charlie is always there to help her not give in to her worst impulses, to tolerate the other people in the hotel while loving Charlie the entire time. Vaggie, you can say, is the first real guest of the hotel, so you can really see how Charlie's influence has really helped Vaggie mellow out. However, when you look at things the other way, then we have to talk. If we're being honest, Vaggie's Charlie's rock, all the comfort, all the support, but Vaggie is just as along for the ride as everyone else in the hotel.
Babe, you don't have to show him every detail.
A few moments later.
Over here, we have our maid, Vifty.
From the pilot, I thought we were gonna get Vaggie being more of like the crazy optimist's manager. That Vaggie would be the realism check to help Charlie's ideas manifest on something more than just good vibes. But that isn't what happened. Vaggie will say something that Charlie will say it's fine and then ignore. Like I had to double check this one too, but there isn't really like a single instance in the show where Vaggie successfully convinces Charlie not to do something.
That bitch is halfway down the street.
Is she?
Oh, she's dancing.
Every time Vaggie suggests approaching a situation with caution, Charlie runs in guns a-blazing. There isn't really a moment in the show where Vaggie gets to be the actual voice of reason in their relationship. Like best she can do is to give suggestions on how Charlie might be able to better reach her goals, like flexing the fact that she's a nepo baby or asking her daddy for help. We see Vaggie do the best that she can to make Charlie's vision a reality, but they aren't really working together to make that happen. Vaggie is often independently trying to get things done, like trying to get that commercial filmed, her having to lead the trust exercises. All these things are Vaggie trying to support Charlie, but we don't really get the opportunity to see that same amount of effort go the other way. Nor do we see them be an effective pair in managing the hotel. Charlie is the carrot to Vaggie's stick, yes, but outside of Vaggie being the one to actually bark orders at the other members of the hotel, we rarely see them work together to accomplish the same goal. We could have a whole conversation about differing love languages, how Vaggie's would be acts of service that she doesn't feel secure about. The episode where she's doing the best to be of service ends with them saying how they work their best when they're together, only for them to not work together to better accomplish something till the final battle. With it instead feeling like Vaggie is putting in most of the work, while Charlie is busy with her real partner, the plot.
It's exactly what it looks like.
The writing never has me doubt that Charlie doesn't love Vaggie, but in the interest of convincing me to care about them for more reasons than just emotional support, it doesn't give me much. And what it does give can be read as underlying issues that aren't really being addressed in the first season. Vaggie isn't Millie from Hell of a Boss, she's Betty from Adventure Time, prioritizing her partner's goals over her own, having grafted her own personal redemption to Charlie's plan to redeem others. When Vaggie says,
If I can't help you, what's the point of me?
the show's answer, without a hint of wait, this is kind of fucked up, is that Vaggie is Charlie's armor, her protector, with the culmination of her getting her wings back being her singing about how she's gonna fight for love rather than blood, vindicating Vaggie's choice to sacrifice herself for Charlie's sake without enough examples of her doing anything unrelated to her partner to make it feel like this isn't something we should be worried about. So the show saying that they're partners, while I believe that to be true, in the events that we actually see, they don't really fully come off as equals. Charlie asks for something, and Vaggie, having built her whole identity around helping her, can't deny Charlie anything. She's worried about being pensious? She caves to the puppy dog eyes. Charlie gets on Vaggie's case about not following the plan perfectly enough?
Vaggie, we rehearsed this.
Bitch,
Well, then she just throws that plan out the window by pressuring Vaggie to lead the trust exercises. Vaggie doesn't want to go to heaven, well, now she is. Altogether, Chaggy hits this weird spot where I like them, but them being supportive just kind of becomes background noise to me. I expect it. So the other things that happen to them take up more room in my head. They get tons of small moments where you can tell that the animators want us to know that they are in love, but those moments don't have enough impact to really hook me on them as a couple. The M&Ms are a more one-sided couple because Vaggie can have actual full conversations with other characters, but the M&Ms are cotton candy drenched in maple syrup. They are disgustingly sweet together, and that overpowers everything else about them. Stolitz is a fucking train wreck with a genuine power imbalance, but their relationship is the focus of that show, and the high melodrama could give reality TV a run for its money. In contrast, Chaggy I think hits a way more realistic and subtle way of showing affection that, while good, can't compete with the rest of the story for my attention, which is why it took till them having a reprisal more than anything for me to actually like, okay, this is perfect. And I do like the episode before, that the reveal of Vaggie being a fallen angel isn't some massive relationship crippling deal. Charlie just needed time to process the information that Vaggie has been omitting the fact that she was an angel. That how they met wasn't love at first Florence Nightingale, but it was actually Vaggie in the aftermath of losing her whole identity and finding new meaning in helping Charlie. So Charlie, learning this, suddenly becomes passive-aggressive and standoffish with Vaggie, till she finally sits down and thinks on it, coming to the realization that while Vaggie may not have told her everything, but her actions have never been anything but a benefit to the hotel and to Charlie. Vaggie has always supported her. Vaggie still loves her and just wants forgiveness. So Charlie returning to her goofy self, buying Vaggie a souvenir, and lets her know that everything's okay, that they don't need to have some massive conversation as they are already all good. However, them not having a potentially juicy convo or getting a real scene like that where they talk about it just fits into the season's pattern of just giving them little to do together. If we had more episodes of them hanging out, more variety to build their chemistry and just show them bouncing off of each other, you know, besides them being supportive and Charlie's armor, then them not having the convo would be fine. Hell, I think it's mostly fine as is. But when looking at just the ship and how much it needs a shot in the arm to make people on the fence fall in love with it, we needed just a little bit more. We got something in the finale. I'm fine with the show keeping their dynamic more low-key than the mess that is Husker Dust and Serpentious with Cherry Bomb, but while I like them together, I'm not gonna pretend that the show isn't struggling a little bit to make Chaggy feel like the characters are their best, most interesting selves when they're together. Like in the first episode, I'm on record saying that the most interesting scene in it is Vaggie and Alistair's one-on-one, where he goes full mask off and how amusing it is to watch everyone struggle, while Vaggie's frustrated on not having made a good commercial. So she is utterly done with his shit, calling him out on his bull, mocking him, and then for Charlie's sake, making a deal of her own to get the commercial done in exchange for Alistair not ever having to work with video again. There's an air of mystery here, a little bit of edge. You don't fully know how it's gonna go and what's gonna happen. In contrast, I know what Vaggie's deal is when she's with Charlie. She's the protector. She cares to a point that it's to her own detriment. And besides that, she has one secret that everyone else saw coming. So very little what she does with Charlie surprises me. Yet when she's with other characters, I'm suddenly way more invested. From her bickering with Angel, setting actual ground rules with Pentious when she's not trying to kill him. When she's interacting with everyone else at the hotel, there is really something here, as you get to watch that stress and frustration, but also the fact that she truly cares for them. For Vaggie to give the members of the hotel the option to leave and to understand why they would want to, as they didn't sign up for a possible massacre, only for them to choose to stay. This got me more than Chaggy's hug, and that, yeah, they're gonna bang later look. Charlie and Vaggie together are fine. They clearly resonate with a lot of people, but for me, it took forever to actually love them. Pre-established couples don't have to be a big thing or have some weird drama to make them interesting, but I believe that Hasbin's lack of variety in how we see them interact, the potential danger of Vaggie's identity being so tied to Charlie and then not pouncing on those juicy writing opportunities, then Charlie, who is always being forced to prioritize the plot over her partner, it all builds a ship that I like, but it's not giving me anything special till this one moment. Naturally, I'm excited to see what will happen with them next season, but I get why a lot of people will take a quick glance at them and not be won over, as they're fine, but they're not an enthralling pair to watch, as after their first interaction, you've already seen the most of what they have to offer. This can be easily improved, but that's the issue with them as I see it. Alright folks, that's it for me. Like, share, and subscribe if you care to do so. Tell me down below what you guys think about Chaggy. Is this your all-time favorite ship? Is it something that you just think is okay? Or are you shipping them with different people? Let me know your thoughts, but try not to get too crazy down there. Love you all, peace out.